Oh no! Now
We are live now.
We are live.
All right, this is Life,
Fucking
Liberty, and the Pursuit of Podcasting. I'm Timothy Iyer.
I'm Jared Thuman. We are joining you from Livingston County, where I've seen more dead deer than people.
Yes, a lot of deer roaming around. I just seen.
They're not roaming anymore. They're on the side of the street.
Well, I go out every night around 8 in the evening, and the deer come out from the woods, and there was 19 or so of them just 2 days ago, just feasting on the field out there. But that's besides the point.
Why don't you guys have an unlimited hunting season?
We should. I think we should. I'm an avid hunter. I love hunting.
I don't hunt, but you guys need it.
You know, it's interesting that you bring this up. I just seen in New York City, to control the deer population, instead of giving out more buck tags, they're going to give $1,500 vasectomies. What are your thoughts on this?
We hate guns so much that we'd rather chop off their balls than freaking.
What the fuck is this? Is this what we're going to have to deal with here? Instead, how much more expensive is that too? It's costing the taxpayer. We could just going out, buying a slug, killing them. That's going to help the population, decreasing it.
Consider this. Instead of giving $1,500 vasectomies, you give hunters $1,500 cash to shoot off their balls. Like we're talking dead.
And maybe even like a bonus if you get it with an arrow.
Well, there was like a shit fest a couple of days ago with that one guy who killed like one animal with a spear. Oh no, killed him with a spear.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Where do you think your meat comes from, people?
Factory farming.
Which is so much worse. I really despise the people that are against hunting and yet still eat meat. And it's like, wait. You'd rather have 10,000 fucking cows stuffed into one small factory farm. I mean, look no further than the chickens at McDonald's. They pump them so full of antibiotics and stuff that their breast and growth hormones that their breast becomes so big they can't even stand.
I have a vegan friend, and I don't like the vegans. I'm not a big fan of the vegans. She's not one of those asshole vegans. She's just a vegan by her own will. And the more I look into this factory farming shit, the more I think she may be right. I mean, and the worst part is I'll still eat chicken nuggets from McDonald's.
They're delicious.
They are. I don't care if I get liver cancer 2 years in the future.
Hey, we all got to go somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the old saying? How do you tell if someone's a vegan? Don't worry, they'll tell you.
Now, if a vegan breastfeeds, does that violate veganism?
You're talking to the wrong person, man.
And if a vegan swallows, does that violate veganism?
Probably.
I would. But moving on. I hope. Yeah, moving on.
That's our joke portion of the show.
Yeah, the rest of the show isn't gonna be that funny, so we gotta.
That's my great attempt at being funny and a stand-up comedian, which I am not.
Well, when Stephen Colbert gets canceled on CBS and I take over for him, I'll bring you on as my sidekick.
All right, yeah, I'll be like the Andy Richter.
Yeah, you can be my Ed McMahon.
Oh, Ed McMahon, even a better example.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna get into a couple topics today. First off, there was a Saudi-led coalition, which was U.S.-backed, that bombed a hospital in Yemen. It ended up killing 19 people and injuring 24. And we've been supplying the Saudis with billions of dollars in weapons of war. And so it's literally our tax money that has gone into funding Saudi-led coalition with our planes, our jets, our missiles, and our tax dollars are paying for this. This is despicable. This is beyond belief. I don't think I consistently say taxation is theft, but to be using our tax dollars for war without our consent, and at the very least without a declaration of war, how is that justified?
Well, I always criticize Rand Paul. I criticize Rand Paul a lot because he is very, I wouldn't say wishy-washy. He's very firm, but not in the way that I would like him to be, especially on drone warfare. He doesn't go as far as I would like for him to go. And I sort of supported him for the Republican nomination, definitely better than what we have now. But he's one area where I'm 100% complete agreement. I'll march in step with Rand Paul on this is the fact we can't fund these people. First off, they don't share American values. You want to talk about kicking out people who already live in America because of their religion. Their religion doesn't share American values. How about the people who actually do have Sharia law?
Right.
Oh no, we can just sell them weapons, even though some people want to talk and throw out some peaceful Muslims in America because they may or may not. I mean, there's the paranoia that they would spring up Sharia law, but here's these people actually chopping off heads and stoning women to death for under Sharia law and under a brutal authoritarian Islamic regime such as the Saudi government and an absolute monarchy as well, which is a primitive form of government.
Yes.
And we're giving them weapons. And look what they're doing with their weapons. They're bombing hospitals now. I don't expect any better from the Saudis. I don't know. The one thing that I think we should do is I think we should, if we're going to do something with the Saudis and we're going to spend any money in the Saudis, the one thing I would consent to is we take the Trump wall, but we build it around the ISIS and Saudi controlled territories. Have them duke it the fuck out. And just,
there you go.
And you know what? If they we don't give them any weapons for this. They can build their own weapons. They can use their own planes. We'll build the wall. We'll build a deathmatch arena, and we'll put it live on pay-per-view because I will watch every single day of that war.
Oh, I would too. Pay-per-view.
Oh, the Saudi, people are worried about what will happen under ISIS in the Middle East or under Daesh in the Middle East, and it's already happening. All Saudi Arabia is a stabilized Daesh state. That's all it is. It's an absolute monarchy.
Mm-hmm.
It's under an authoritarian version of Islam. It's under strict Sharia law. It has no concept of natural rights for people. And you're worried about what will happen under ISIS. Well, congrats. You have it already under Saudi Arabia. It's just they're not in the middle of fighting a war right now. So that's why they'll still behead Christians the same way. They'll still behead atheists the same way. They'll still require the testimony of double a woman's testimony is worth half than a man's under Sharia. They'll still require all of that. And you're worried about ISIS right now. Well, that's all that Saudi Arabia is.
Yeah, they're just a government that is pretty much ISIS. They're an official government with the same ideology as Saudi Arabia.
Well, Saudi Arabia, all that ISIS is just Saudi Arabia that's mixed with Blitzkrieg. That's all it is right now. It's just an expansion and it's unrecognized. Now that we give them that magical seat of representation and we support them being in the UN and we all do all that, suddenly Saudi Arabia isn't that bad. But this is where our money's going right now. Yeah,
and it's awful. You bring up an interesting point about Sharia law, and there's this fear mongering that if we let Muslims in to our country, we're just on a one-way path to Sharia law.
Well, who are we giving our money to?
Yeah, look who we're giving our money to. But I'll say this, that our Constitution and our values is incompatible with Sharia law. There's no doubt about that. But we would never stand for Sharia law being enacted in America. There's just no doubt, even if it's in a small community off to the side.
Now there's some courts. Anderson Cooper did a great thing about this. There's some courts where it's a voluntary court. You don't have to abide by it. You can skip and just go to straight. But they'll make rulings in civil disputes based on Sharia. It's kind of like a Judge Judy kind of thing, kind of like those voluntary. We both sign up for it. But these courts, they operate within the jurisprudence of U.S. law. They're not trying to contradict U.S. law. They're not trying to contradict. It's completely different. This is a peaceful Islamic community kind of thing, and it's like two families.
And it's voluntary. which is key.
Now, if one family is like, no, we don't want to do this under these Sharia courts, which by Sharia courts, not the fear-mongering sort of Sharia court, not the type that Donald Trump's worried that will come into America.
Not we're going to throw you off a building if you're gay.
No. But more like family A has a problem with family B. They're both Muslim families and they want to settle it under Islamic law. I'm not sure if it's an actual mosque or if it's a sort of a pseudo judge that specializes in Sharia,
right?
And the more civil aspects, because Sharia, we all know about the brutal parts of Sharia, but there's also civil aspects of Sharia as far as like marriage law, tax law, etc. They can go and they can get it solved that way. And this court, and they said so on their websites. You should check out not now, but you should check out what Anderson Cooper did for this, because Donald Trump was claiming that Sharia was coming to America, but these courts, it says on their websites that they still respect American law and they will abide by American law, and nothing that they do will contradict American law. Right. So they respect the law and order of America. So that's not what we're dealing with in Saudi Arabia, though. And obviously, Saudi Arabia isn't subject to the U.S. Constitution, but they should be subject to basic human decency.
Oh, absolutely.
And basic human decency isn't public executions. Basic human decency isn't an absolute monarchy, but who are we sending our money to? That's when we send our money and we send our guns and we send our planes to a country, we are endorsing them. We are saying we are standing by you. So, and Saudi Arabia makes Iran look like a cakewalk as far as like theocracy goes.
I completely agree. Like with all the fear mongering of, with Iran, I think it's ironic that we support Saudi Arabia, which I would say is exponentially worse than Iran ever has. Well, even during the revolution where Ayatollah Khamenei came back.
Now, living in as an agnostic with Christian leanings like myself, and a person who still is very respectful to Christian tradition and will celebrate Christmas and celebrate Easter with my Christian friends in a church, I would feel more comfortable living in present-day Iran than present-day Saudi Arabia. I would as well. I would feel more comfortable living in straight after the Islamic Revolution Iran than I would in any era Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is freaking scary. At least Iran, now whether or not the religious freedom is up to par is a matter of debate, and it isn't up to par with America. It isn't up to par with the Western world. But at least in theory, on paper, in their constitution, they have freedom of religion. In Saudi Arabia, they just cut it off the middleman. They say, no, you have no freedom of religion. We are an Islamic state. Our constitution is the Quran, and that's all we have. That's incompatible, and I don't know why we're sending... I would feel more comfortable sending weapons to freaking Somalia than I would, so I could prepare my anarchist revolution. Well.
I mean, I know they behead people in the town square who violate their drug laws. And I get really disheartened when I hear certain conservatives say, well, that would solve the drug problem. That would end the drug war here in America. And I always point out that there's two problems.
What conservative have you heard that say?
Huh?
What conservative said that?
Well, people I talk to who say, well, we need stricter punishment for drug laws, or, and you know what they do in Saudi Arabia. They behead people. And so if there's one country I don't aspire to be more like, it's Saudi Arabia. And the fact of the matter is that they have to do it every year anyways. So it doesn't solve anything. There's people still getting beheaded every year. So this hasn't stopped anyone.
It's a brutal way of life there. And that's just a really authoritarian version of Islam. And this is what happens when religion and government mix in general. People say that it's an Islamic problem. Well, if you had an overtly any religion state, it's just that Islam is the fad of the time right now, where that's the main religion that people are going to as far as authoritarian states are.
Mm-hmm.
It's lined up more or less because Islam as a religion is about 1,400 years old. Well, when Christianity was about 1,400 years old, the Spanish Inquisition was going on. It's a natural progression. It doesn't make it right. That's not justifying it, but it's making sense chronologically. I'm noticing a trend within the Abrahamic religions.
Yeah, I would say, there's really no problem with Islam. There's a fundamental problem with Sharia.
There's a fundamental problem with religion and government mixing in general.
Yes.
That's
the beauty of this country, the separation of church and state.
I want my free Christian nation. Whenever I think about people wanting their free Christian nation, I think about other religions not being tolerated, and or irreligion not being tolerated, and that's not the way I roll. And that's what and atheism is, you're better off converting to Christianity and you'll still get executed, but they'll execute you as a person. If you convert to atheism or agnosticism in Saudi Arabia, they don't treat you like a person. That's a special form of apostasy.
Wow.
You're not a person there. You're not. That's just how it is. As Saudi Arabia, well, I don't know why we're giving them weapons. Why would we fund this place? We have so many. We have
19 of the hijackers that did 9/11 were from Saudi Arabia.
If you want to really go ahead and if you desperately want to give it to an Islamic monarchy, give it to Jordan. They're really progressive. They're really sane.
Yeah.
They're the probably, besides Israel, the most Western country in the Middle East now. If you really want to give a country, and they're fighting their own war against ISIS. So if you really want to just go ahead and just give people money, I'd feel way better within Jordan than in Saudi Arabia.
So cut off all foreign aid to every country.
I say do that, but if you're going to do it do it to a country that has some form of Western values.
To get back on the topic of the separation of church and state, and we'll get back into the whole hospital thing. A lot of my libertarian friends online have been, they're disheartened with Gary Johnson or not supporting him, and they're supporting Darrell Castle. And I took a chance to read. I took a chance to read the Constitutional Party's platform.
You mean Mein Kampf?
They are a theocracy. They believe in a theocracy. They don't believe in a separation of church and state. And this is laughable. I don't think.
Are any of your friends in the party? Because they can go screw themselves if they're in the Libertarian Party and they're supporting Darrell Castle.
Well, not in my local chapter.
I hope not.
It's people online that I'm friends with.
Sometimes when I see people like that, I don't think Stalin was that far off with mass party purges. The Constitution Party is the furthest authoritarian right you can get. Makes Donald Trump look like a cakewalk. Oh my God. If you're really going to die on the hill of religious liberty, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying religious liberty isn't a big deal. It's one of my stopping points with Gary Johnson as well. But if you're going to die on the hill of religious liberty and just go ahead and do a 180 and be like, no, we're going to support a freaking theocracy, that's insulting.
It is insulting.
It's insult.
And I would question your morals and your ideology to libertarianism in the first place.
I know that she's to the left of Bernie Sanders. Why wouldn't you consider Jill Stein then?
Yeah.
I mean, at least she's not the Constitution Party.
Yeah. I've been in many debates with some of these people. They're pro-war on drugs. They're
not libertarians then.
No, they never were. And that, I think that was my point of the whole thing. But this hospital, to get back on what we initially started talking about, it's a Doctors Without Borders hospital, and they are going to be pulling out from they're evacuating the doctors from 6 different hospitals in northern Yemen. And I just wonder, was this the desired outcome that Saudi Arabia wanted, to have to stop the support from the international community? And that's really disturbing if that was, because I mean, if you're using U.S. weapons, which they're using U.S. jets and U.S. missiles, you can pinpoint accurately know where them missiles are going to go.
Oh yeah.
So they intentionally bombed this hospital. There's no doubt in my mind.
Oh, because they know they won't be held accountable for war crimes.
Yeah, because they're U.S. backed.
Especially since Hillary Clinton's going to win the election. They're definitely not going to be held accountable for war crimes. Let's not be crazy.
Yeah.
No, and they're going to do it again. They're going to bomb every hospital they can. They don't care about mass civilian casualties. They don't care if whether or not where they're targeting is held by ISIS or not. They don't care. They're Saudi Arabians. They don't care.
They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck. The entire government is so corrupt and so crazy that they don't care. They don't care about the actual human costs. Now, I'm not saying if you're in the Middle East, don't wage a war against ISIS. If you're in the Middle East, I feel like that's your responsibility. It's not America's responsibility, but it's
but it is in the aspect that we created the vacuum for them to exist, and then we essentially funded them.
So we cut off the funding, but
yes,
but they had to clean up that mess, or leave it alone and let it fester out, because I'm guaranteed that ISIS will not stand as a country as well as Saudi Arabia standing as a country, because it doesn't have U.S. backing and doesn't have United Nations backing. But you don't. What better are you than ISIS if you're going after the hospitals? You're not.
It's deplorable.
You're not better than ISIS.
I seen Fusion held a libertarian town hall with Gary Johnson, and he was saying in terms of oh God, I forgot where I was going with this. That's my bad. It was a good libertarian town hall, though. I think it was his best of his three. He did a lot better than I would say than the two CNN town halls. That's for sure.
I thought he did great in the CNN town hall.
Really?
I mean, not the first one.
The first one was pretty bad.
The first one was probably the worst thing I've
ever seen. But I think it was more or less the questions and stuff like that too. They kind of tried to give them gotcha type questions.
I didn't see the Fusion one, so I couldn't tell you.
It was actually pretty good. Got into more in-depth issues, which was nice. And him and Bill Weld were both there. They took questions from reporters. Jorge Ramos hosted it, which I'm a big fan of him. He asked the hard questions, which I enjoy. He's a good reporter, and if only more reporters were like him, for sure. I remember when he was hosting the Democratic debates, people were booing him because he asked Hillary about her emails and about Benghazi and all these other things. And it's like, these are the basic questions we should be asking Hillary Clinton. It's like, why is it off the table to ask these questions?
Yeah,
it's really ridiculous to me. Yeah, so with that whole situation with the hospital, it's deplorable, and we literally need to stop funding these radical countries. Saudi Arabia is the worst example of an ally you could ever have.
I would feel better donating our money to North Korea.
Yeah,
I'll say it. I'll feel slightly, not that much better, but slightly better about giving all our money to North Korea.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, just cut the foreign funding off. Our money should not be going to dropping bombs on fucking hospitals.
Our money would be better off going to, I don't know, how many troops under the GI Bill do you think we would be able to help?
Exactly. Or actually get the VA out of the fucking mud.
Well, I mean, if we stop spending billions of dollars on planes that are going to go to authoritarian Islamist states, it sounds like a great plan to me. I don't know. It's just amazing that we still, because this was an issue when I was listening to Glenn Beck, when I used to love Glenn Beck. I used to clarifying, used to.
Okay.
But this was an issue 4 years ago during the last freaking election. And now it's still an issue, and it's going to remain an issue until we have real change as far as where Congress goes and how we appropriate our spending. I'm still at a loss for words. I'm
going to pull up the article here real quick so everyone watching can see the article real quick. Put this up. There we go.
This is what your taxpayer dollars are going to, guys.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
So next time you hear that crazy person just saying taxation is extortion or taxation is theft or war is a racket.
War is a racket. General Smedley Butler.
Just look at that picture. It's not up anymore, but look at the picture. That hospital. Look at that picture of the Syrian boy that just.
I was going to mention that.
Made the waves. That's what your dollars are going to, guys.
I just cannot give my support behind anything that's killing fucking innocent children. The most defenseless age, the most vulnerable age. And these poor kids now growing up in Syria, you know, anyone under 6 or so years old, they've grown up in endless war. It's just been surrounded by nothing but war.
And Status, this is where you apologize, by the way. This is where you say, I'm sorry. This is where you say, where you took, and I know people who've done this, and I know people who will justify this. People who say, oh, war is hell. It's gonna. You'll fucking apologize right now. Yeah, I'm going to hold myself right, and I'm going to be an asshole about this. This is what, if you supported Hillary Clinton, if you supported George Bush, if you supported Barack Obama, all of which are the same person, essentially, as far as their foreign policy goes.
Oh, it hasn't changed one bit.
You apologize to this young kid. You look that kid in his blood-stained eyes, and you apologize to that picture.
I thought the most disturbing fact of it, he wasn't even in tears. He wasn't even in tears.
He's used to it.
He's so used to it. He's been so desensitized to war that it's barely affecting him, that his parents are fucking dead inside of a house turned to rubble.
Well, but America doesn't have anything. No, America has everything to do with the Syrian civil war. Remember, the media doesn't talk about this anymore, but we didn't put boots on the ground, but we funded these rebels because we thought that Assad was a bad person. Assad, well, what happened in Iraq? Saddam was a bad person. Saddam was a horrible freaking person. Saddam was one of the worst dictators in the Middle East.
Right, but just because bad things are happening, we don't go into Darfur. We don't go into Burma. Where people cannot justify it with bad things happening in other places.
I'm still waiting for the invasion of North Korea. If we really care about bad things happening,
right? It's where's the fucking money?
So yeah, without a declaration of war, by the way. So we prop up in a three-way war because now we have the moderate rebels, which may or may not exist. I'm not entirely convinced that they exist. We have ISIS.
And al-Nusra.
And ISIS and al-Nusra, we have the radical Islamists, the authoritarian Islamists. And then we have Assad, which I don't even know what the hell's happening with Assad anymore because he's not even the focus of the story anymore. The focus is he has no country left to govern anymore. He's probably sleeping in rubble by himself.
He pretty much holds the capital, and that's about it.
Now, where are the three countries that Daesh is spreading? Iraq, Syria, and Libya.
All three places that we
have intervened in.
Intervened, of course.
Now, Syria, the least of which we're just supporting people. We're giving people arms. But in Libya and Iraq, we bombed them. And in Iraq, we had boots on the ground. And those are the three places where Daesh is growing. Now, people will go back, and I guarantee you they'll go back and say, well, you just got done condemning Saudi Arabia. How are you going to support Assad? Well, I'm not saying I'm supporting Assad. I'm not saying I like Assad.
No.
I'm saying quit giving these guys money.
Yeah.
You don't need to go in and overthrow them. If you cut off their money, they'll go bankrupt sooner or later.
Yeah. Well, the interesting, I just thought of what Gary Johnson said at that Fusion debate. Said, we got to bring Russia in on the table to deal with ISIS. We have to bring Russia to the table, and together we will deal with ISIS because really they're the only one doing fucking anything about it.
Well,
they're certainly not funding ISIS like we are.
And inadvertently, people are claiming, oh, well, we don't mean to be. Yeah, we don't mean to be funding ISIS. That's not what we're doing. We don't mean to be.
The unintended consequence.
With unintended consequence, when we give those moderate rebels these Jeeps and these Humvees and these tanks and these guns, well, what happens when they lose a battle?
Half of them end up aligning with ISIS, and the other half just end up getting killed.
And
then the other half aligns with ISIS because they don't want to be fucking killed.
So, long story short, we don't cut off the money. That's all. That's not that hard of a concept. We just say, okay, if you're not in a formal alliance with us, and even the formal alliances, I want a little bit scaled back, especially as far as U.S. bases goes. But if you're not in a formal alliance with us, if you're not, and if we don't need you, because we don't have, in theory, we don't have anything we need in the Middle East.
Right.
Now let's be real oil, but
yeah. Oh man, I just knocked my cigarette cherry off my cigarette.
Nice. But in theory, we shouldn't be giving these people money.
No, it's disturbing, and you know we've said it many times. I mean, it may have been unintentionally, but when you support regime change, can anyone say that Libya is worse off today than they were with Gaddafi?
Well, yeah, they are worse.
Yeah.
Gaddafi at least provided. Now, it was a brutal stability. Gaddafi was a horrible person, but open the window. Oh.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. Like, they were much better off as a society underneath Gaddafi. There's no doubt about it.
And now they have a negative anarchy. Now they have, I would actually call it a hyperstatism, because they have so many countries fighting over each other that it creates what many statists would call anarchy, but it's not anarchy. Same thing happening in Somalia. They're having an overdose on government. They're having 4 governments fighting over themselves.
Yeah, there's so many different groups trying to consolidate that power that it ends up, you know, the average citizen there is so much worse off today than they were under Gaddafi.
We're going to move on, or else we're going to take the entire hour of the podcast.
Yeah. So I have a couple, it's Olympic season right now.
Almost the end.
I think this Sunday or something is the end.
Yeah. Rio de Janeiro has not burned down despite Ryan Lochte best efforts.
Yes. Oh God, what a story that is.
Funny. I
don't
like it
when
people
about getting robbed.
I don't like it when people call him a scumbag, because he didn't kill or rape anyone.
No.
But he's a douchebag. He's
yeah.
Despite Ryan Lochte's best efforts, Rio de Janeiro is not burning down. Despite their own people's best efforts, Rio de Janeiro is not burning down. But social media has gone a light.
Yes, it has.
With many different things. We had our first athlete compete in a hijab, which is a good achievement.
Yes.
I mean, representing your culture, that's nothing wrong with that.
Her name, she's a Muslim fencer. I'm going to butcher this name. It is Ibtija Muhammad. That is her name. First Muslim competing in the under Team USA with a hijab.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with that.
No, congratulations.
I'm
breaking walls down.
Breaking walls. I mean, I'm more impressed with the fact that she was able to make it to the Olympics for fencing.
Yeah, it's a tough sport.
I mean, I could be the first person wearing a Cardinals hat.
Yeah,
as a fencer. But that notwithstanding, she's representing her culture. Good. That's cool. If she wears it in normal life, who cares?
Yeah.
I'll tell you who cares. CNN fucking cares.
CNN's Camus, I'm probably butchering this as well, Camus Bell, did not want Michael Phelps to carry the flag at the opening ceremony and wanted this Muslim fencer, Ijab Muhammad, to carry it.
Now, because he said that there's enough rich white people.
There's enough rich white people to represent America, he said.
Well, he's not exactly wrong on that, but what he is wrong on is he's either really ignorant of the past or he has a victim complex. Because guess what? In London, we had the closing ceremonies. Our flag bearer was an immigrant to America. He was an African immigrant. He wasn't born in America. He was a naturalized immigrant. And he carried the flag to show off America's diversity and pride that we are a melting pot of humanity. So you're wrong. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Now let's examine the merits of this. Though.
Yeah, he's the most decorated Olympian in Olympic history.
And I'm not trying to trash the girl, okay?
No.
I'm not sure how the girl actually finished in the Olympics.
I'm unsure, but this was her first Olympics and she had never won a medal.
So now, not saying that she isn't important. She's very important. She's an Olympian. That's something that no one can ever take away from her.
Yeah.
Michael Phelps, if you saw how he was acting in the pool after he swam like a fucking trout the entire time.
Oh, he's amazing.
But afterwards, he had trouble getting out of the pool. He's old.
He's getting old for swimming.
This is very much his last Olympics, no matter. He said 2012 was his last Olympics, and it turned out he came back. But this is very much his last Olympics, and you're crazy if you think otherwise. Let the man carry the freaking flag.
Yeah. Most decorated Olympian in world history.
You know that Maryland, because Michael Phelps is from Maryland, if Maryland was its own country, they would have the second most amount of gold medals.
Wow.
In the Olympics, if Maryland was its own legit country.
That's amazing.
Because of Michael freaking Phelps.
Yeah, Michael Phelps.
The guy's a monster. The guy's an American hero. The guy should be on every Wheaties box from now until his death.
Let me pose this hypothetical to you. Suppose Michael Phelps were a black man. And suppose Anderson Cooper said that he shouldn't be the flag bearer because he's black. What would the reaction have been?
Well, the reaction would have been outrage. But I do think it's a sort of a different thing because white men are the majority in America, and I get it. We're the oppressor. No, we're not the oppressor. I'm not saying that.
No, but in historical terms.
In historical terms, probably depending on various things, what area of the
right.
We're New Yorkers.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think it's appropriate to reverse the situation. I also don't think it's appropriate to because the guy did make a jab at Donald Trump in this monologue, saying that we have enough rich white men promising to make America great.
Right.
Why the hell are you comparing Michael Phelps to Donald Trump? What did
that's fucked up. I have no knowledge of Michael Phelps supporting Donald Trump.
I have no knowledge of Michael Phelps being a political animal in general. I just know that he swims and smokes weed.
Yeah. That's a whole other story we can get into. God forbid you smoke weed. You might end up the most decorated Olympian of all time.
Honest to God, though, I don't know what if I was Michael Phelps, I wouldn't be offended that the guy doesn't want me to carry the flag. I'd be offended that he compared me to Donald Trump or hinted that I was Donald Trump. You're wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know what
wrong.
I don't know what else to say. The guy's the most decorated athlete in Olympic history. Now, this chick does well in fencing and goes ahead and wins. In fencing, 10 golds would be freaking phenomenal. Fencing. But yeah, go ahead. Have her be the opening because she's so young. She's like what?
She's like, very young.
She's like 16. If she goes ahead and she carries in next year when she's 20, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, not who cares isn't like it's gonna be not who cares isn't who cares, but like who cares? It's not gonna offend me. It's not gonna offend anyone.
Right.
Let Michael Phelps have this freaking moment.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the guy's a god.
Yeah.
We should all be bowing down.
The greatest swimmer,
if you are
an Olympian of all time.
Now, I'm not that much of a patriot, except when it comes to freaking sports. When it comes to sports, I will bleed. I will tattoo Michael Phelps' face onto very inappropriate parts of my body. Just like I would tattoo Abby Wambach's face on various inappropriate parts of my body.
I'll do a two-face of each of them.
Two-face. The guy's an American icon. The guy is just as American. I would say he's a bigger American icon than Babe Ruth.
Yeah, that's debatable.
It's debatable, but I would say that
he's right up there. He's certainly one of the greatest athletes of all time.
How many World Series rings? Okay, how many World Series rings do the New York Yankees have? They have 27.
Yeah.
Michael Phelps has 24 golds.
Yeah.
Michael Phelps is almost the New York Yankees of
individual competition.
So yeah, if you want to go ahead and you want to make Michael Phelps holding the flag thing and making him like a Donald Trump persona just because he's going to be holding a flag.
Yeah, get that shit out of my face. And don't get me wrong, this guy doesn't. He has the right to say it. Don't get me wrong, but we have a right to call him an asshole about it.
And he's being an asshole, and I'm not sure. As far as, and I feel bad for the girl too, because now she's caught up.
Now
she's being
in this
defended when
whirlwind.
she didn't even, as far as I know, she didn't even state any offense. She didn't say anything about it. Because guess what? I guarantee you that she's a humble person
Yes.
that won't want to be bombastic like some media personalities on cable news will want to do.
Yeah.
I guarantee you I don't doubt that she's the most humble person in the entire world. She's not at fault for this.
No.
I don't want it coming off as us blaming her, because it's not.
Yeah, it's not. It's a CNN anchor.
It's CNN anchor. First off, what are you doing? Because I always thought that CNN was kind of like the sort of middle.
Yeah, more
kind of
centrist left.
I expect this out of MSNBC. I expect this out.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when you're sounding more bombastic than Rachel Maddow, I don't want to hear it. I don't.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that, though.
And another story relating to this, the girl wearing the hijab. I'll try to say her name again, but I'm going to butcher it. Idija Muhammad. There was some outrage over a picture of her on Twitter that someone dug up, apparently, and it was one of her fencing people that she trains with holding the sword up to her neck, and she was like, like doing a little pose.
Let me guess.
And the right went ape shit. The right went ape shit, but with the left, or the right is always bitching how the left they go ape shit over everything. They're always offended over everything. Well, the right is too. It just takes different things to offend them.
Everyone has different triggers.
They literally blamed her. They said this was in the vein of everyone who's been killed and beheaded by ISIS, and that she was desecrating them. She was desecrating their memory. She's in the gym.
She's literally a professional Jedi. That's what she does. It's a joke. Have fun. It's the Olympics. It's like, I guarantee you that I don't see the South Koreans when that South Korean girl just took a selfie with the North Korean girl. Wow, that flies in the face of everyone that's died in North Korea and has no exoskeleton. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Oh man, it is. It's just, I agree. The left is easily offended, but the right is easily offended as well.
Just different things.
Yeah, it's just different. We'll go into the next story. Gymnast Gabby Douglas didn't put her hand on her heart after the team competition gold.
You want to know why she didn't? Because she's freaking excited because she just won a gold medal. She's not thinking straight.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be thinking straight either.
People gave her so much shit about that. And then you know what's great is, you know what, America, you have the right to not put your hand on your heart. I don't put my hand on my heart during the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll be respectable and I'll stand.
And then
I don't even remove my hat most of the time.
And then here's Gabby. She has to defend herself against us. And you know it's bad when I go on the Fox News comment section on that. Even the Fox News people are like, that's a little crazy. You're criticizing her for this.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on here?
But no, she has to issue an official apology because people got their knickers in a bunch because she didn't put her hand on her on her organ. I guess
It's so ridiculous. Like, why should? Last time I checked, we're supposed to have free expression. If she doesn't want to put her hand on her heart, by all fucking means, I can care less. It's the people bitching about it. And like we were saying earlier, they have a right to bitch about it. They have the right to say whatever, but I have a right to call them a fucking asshole for it.
Well, they are. And it's the same thing that triggers the right. What is...
It's always nationalistic,
patriotism. It's what bathrooms people use.
What bathrooms people are using.
They'll become just as bad as the social justice warriors on the left. They'll become just as bad as the radical third wave feminists. They'll become just as rabid. The difference is the age demographic mostly.
Right.
So, yeah, the right wing is not without fault at all.
Just as easily offended as the left, I would say.
It's over different issues.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else?
Well, you just mentioned feminism.
Oh God.
We got another story from the Olympics here. U.S. Olympian Kerri Walsh Jennings, gold medalist in beach volleyball, said this quote: "I was born to have babies and play volleyball." Feminists went crazy.
No.
They went crazy over this statement. It's like, oh no. She finds deep meaning in having children. What the fuck is your problem?
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all about the entire female empowerment thing. I'm all like, I'm between the two of us. I'm probably the more feminist out of the two of us, and that's a low bar. But, that's a low bar. But if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, then go ahead, be a stay-at-home mom.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. I don't agree with it personally, but that's why I'm not the one making the decision.
Exactly. I just feel, you know, they're trying to stifle someone's personal choice, and this is a world-class athlete. This lady's competed, I believe, in 4 Olympics or something.
Well, to take a page out of Steven Crowder's book, these androgynous amoeba feminists that we see going out, they're probably part of the fat acceptance movement too. So they probably could play beach volleyball if they wanted to.
Oh God, yeah.
Now that's not all feminists, but if you've been on Tumblr, you've seen some stuff.
Yeah, you know, and they're always the one that's saying beautiful at any size.
Well, I'm personally,
if you can be comfortable in your own skin, by all means. But that's not to say that there's certain health implications and risks that go along with being overweight.
Back to Jennings, though. Who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? Is she hurting you?
Yeah, is her lifestyle choices making your life harder?
Did she even say, humor me, did she even say, I believe it's a woman's duty to...
Absolutely not.
Did she speak for any other woman besides herself?
Nope. This was her own personal experience.
Didn't think so.
This is what brings her meaning in her life. And it's really disheartening to try to stifle someone's personal choice or what they find meaningful in their own lives. This is where I am drastically on the other side of the spectrum when it comes to these particular type of third wave feminists.
Oh yeah, third wavers are completely out there.
They just don't know what they're talking about. They're offended by everything.
They're offended by everything. They're offended by personal choice.
Yeah.
They're pro-choice on abortion, but nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, they're supposed to be for women's rights, and this girl's making her own personal choice, and they're offended by this? Give me a break.
I don't know.
What's going on here?
People annoy me, you know. It's this new mentality that people don't live their lives the way that I want them to. But don't tell me how to live my life because I want to live my life. It's very egoistic and not in the good way because I'm an egotist. But
you know what happens when you're offended? Nothing. Nothing fucking happens. And you know, this is the thing that gets me. The only power words have is the power you give them. So if you're offended over someone's words, don't fucking listen to it. Walk away. Don't get bothered over that. Make your own path in life.
And you know what the best way to do to tell Jennings to fuck her? You know what the best? Get a job, work your ass off, don't be a stay-at-home mom. Play indoor volleyball instead of beach volleyball. And go out and kick ass. Who cares?
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, one person won't care. Jennings won't.
Yeah.
She won't care because that's her choice, and she knows that's her choice. Just the same thing with... It's the same thing as the hijab girl. She's not forcing anyone to wear a hijab. She's not forcing... No. She's not even saying... Like, she didn't even ask for Michael Phelps to be the... She didn't even...
No, someone was also speaking on her behalf.
So what are you doing speaking on Jennings' behalf is my question to these ladies or these people.
Yeah. Exactly.
So Jezebel be damned. Speaking of Jezebel, have you heard about Gawker?
I did not.
Shutting down this week.
They shut down Gawker.
Shutting down during
it's shutting down.
Shutting down.
Why is it shutting down?
Let me tell you something, brother. Hulk Hogan went rampant on
I did hear about this.
$21 million lawsuit, brother. And let me tell you, when all the Hulkamaniacs come down on you, they will come down with a bang.
26-inch pythons, brother.
And one for each $1 million that I derive from this clickbaiting piece of shit company.
Yeah, this was if I'm not mistaken, this was about the video that released with.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan fucked his best friend's wife.
Yeah,
with his best friend's permission. His best friend agreed to be cucked.
Yes, and so he ended up selling the footage to Gawker.
Yeah,
correct.
And
so why not hold the guy responsible? Isn't that a legitimate media? Could it be protected under the First Amendment? You're the one who made a fucking video, bro.
I think it was a violation of a cease and desist, though.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure, but that's a good point. All I do know
Freedom
is
of the press.
Okay, First Amendment be damned. I'm just happy to see. When it comes to media, I don't like. When it comes to the media that launched Jezebel, which launched a bunch of clickbait, third wave feminist, just horseshit pages.
Right.
Which
I don't think I've even ever been to Gawker. I guess that probably shows my age.
My first time going to Gawker was the report that they were shutting down.
Nice.
I know that they're very involved inside the feminist movement, the modern feminist movement, the not good feminist movement.
Not a Christina Hoff Summers 70s feminism, which I have no problem with.
Yeah, God forbid. But all it was so funny. I saw it and then I read it, and then the first thing it linked me was something from Jezebel. How an orgy at the Olympic Village led to one fucking
led to one what?
There was a diving team. I forget which one they were, but it was like a Portuguese diving team, and one of them was banging another man on the Portuguese team. And if I'm a girl, I just want to get to sleep. Especially during the Olympics.
You gotta get your sleep.
Gotta get my sleep. It's the Olympics. So yeah, she kicks them both out and locks them out of the room. Okay, if I'm a frat boy, and I don't want to deal with my best friend banging another girl in my room, and I'm kind of trying to get sleep because I have an exam tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm kicking him out of the room.
Yeah,
but what did Jezebel do? Jezebel made about slut shaming.
Oh, God.
It's because she was having sex in general. No, it's because I guarantee she's noisy.
Yeah.
Promise you, because I wouldn't. If they're quiet, there's no issue.
Right.
I mean, it's awkward, but there's no intrinsic issue.
Heavy breathing is okay.
And you have the entire. Why can't he be in his Olympic dorm? But that's the kind of shit that Jezebel posts, and that's what Gawker props up. Unfortunately, Jezebel will continue because the Univision purchased all of Gawker's subsidiaries. It's not Gawker itself.
Okay.
Gawker itself will be going off the air sometime this week, and not a moment too soon. Hulk, if you're listening, WWE may not let you in there, may not let you back in canon because, let's be honest, you're a racist twat. But
yeah,
you're a martyr too, man.
Yeah, you shut down Gawker, brother.
You shut it down.
Shut her down.
But yeah, Gawker's gone.
Good riddance, from what I understand.
The Hulk Hogan of clickbait destruction is here. It's at least BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed knows that it's clickbait, and they acknowledge that they're clickbait.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'll watch people petting kittens and stuff like that on BuzzFeed.
I want to see 13 GIFs of Salma Hayek doing a snake dance, just the same GIF over and over again. 21 plans on how to successfully conquer Russia. Yeah, sure, I'll take all that. But at least BuzzFeed knows.
Yeah,
that it's clickbait.
They've embraced it at this point.
They never didn't embrace it. They invented clickbait. The thing about Gawker though is they were presenting themselves as a legitimate news source.
Yeah,
that's what pisses me off. I don't like things. I hate liars though.
So you must hate these two major party candidates.
Well, that's something we'll get into next time.
Yeah, biggest liars ever.
Well, I don't think that Donald Trump's a liar. I just think his honesty is brutal and stupid.
But he's flip-flopped so many times. You can't.
He was pro-choice. I guarantee you he's pro-choice when he's expecting another child. I guarantee he's really pro-choice then.
Yeah.
You know that rich white billionaire aspect of him. If you think It's funny how the alt-right, which is a movement based off family values, first and foremost, hold them down Trump of all people as their standard bearer.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling to say the least.
Oh no, it's the man who's been divorced 3 times is not a standard bearer, or the man who's been married 3 times. I'm not sure if he's been divorced 3 times. That's a standard bearer family morality.
Yeah,
I don't know how Donald Trump's going to be winning the Christian vote either.
Yeah, I don't understand that, because that's where the main base of the Republican Party is that Christian conservative base.
Just mainly traditionalists. And speaking of traditionalists, next week or next show rather, I'm not sure when I'll be able to come back. If the next one that has me on instead of Jack,
okay.
Hopefully Jack can do more too.
Yeah, he said something like once a month or something.
Sure. I would pose an open invitation for any of my friends who identify both as a libertarian and alternative right to come on.
Yeah.
We want to do an entire show about that. We're both skeptics about the fusion of the alt-right and the libertarian movement. I think they're entirely opposed to each other.
Yeah,
it's like Zionist Nazism to me. It's
right.
I don't know.
They're incompatible,
but
with my ideology.
I am open to being proven wrong, though. So if any of the alt-right who are sympathetic to the libertarian movement or libertarian sympathetic to the alt-right want to come on and have a talk, we're always open.
Yeah,
that will be our topic of discussion for next time, though.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So we got one final story here to talk about. Recent poll came out where Gary Johnson's leading amongst all candidates, ahead of Hillary, ahead of Trump, in the age group of 18 to 24-year-olds. 35% support. Is libertarianism the future?
It is.
It's undoubtedly the future. I actually just wrote an article about this.
Libertarianism is definitely the future, and you're crazy if you think otherwise. Whether or not you agree with it or you disagree with it, it is the future. Whether or not it's going to grow in the Republican Party or whether or not the Libertarian Party itself will be
right. That's what I was just going to say. It's not essentially saying that the Libertarian Party is the future, but libertarianism is certainly the future, and it will definitely direct both major parties. I 100% believe this. And there's no doubt in my mind that libertarianism is the future. And this poll proves it. Amongst 18 to 24-year-olds, he's polling 35%, ahead of Hillary, ahead of Trump, ahead of Stein.
I think that our future is bright. I think, cliched it may be, I think it's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening. No, seriously. It's more young people are getting ready to become, especially people who are growing up in this election cycle.
Oh, yeah.
This is freaking crazy. At least Obama was charismatic. At least Obama was a likable.
Yeah, he was a likable guy.
In theory. At least he presents himself as a likable guy.
Yeah.
Hillary presents herself as some sort of meme chick.
Yeah. Warhawk.
And then we have Trump, who's Trump.
He's just...
We can do an entire 4 hours about that.
Yeah. I believe you have a very special birthday wish.
Yes. I want to wish happy birthday to Ron Paul.
Ron Paul.
Literally.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Oh, my God.
How many people did he bring on to the liberty movement?
Me.
Yeah.
Me.
He definitely refined my already existing theories on libertarianism. I was more exposed to it through like William F. Buckley and Milton Friedman. And then, I've always been an admirer of Jefferson and Madison, who were the main authors of our founding documents, being the Declaration and the Constitution.
I just feel Ron Paul is the man when it comes to philosophy.
I like what Judge Napolitano says. He's like, the modern day Thomas Jefferson is Ron Paul.
And he is.
He is. Ron Paul didn't give a fuck. During them Republican debates in 2012, because he was a little irrelevant in 2008, but he stood by his morals and his ideals. But in 2012, he would get booed so bad on some of the issues, especially when it came to foreign policy and drug policy and foreign aid and supporting Israel. He didn't give a fuck.
Well, you know,
he stood by his morals, and and I'm sure all politicians hate being booed, but it didn't bother Ron Paul. Do you know who
I supported before Ron Paul in 2012?
Who did you support?
Rick fucking Santorum.
Rick Santorum, the guy who's gonna ban porn.
I know.
You should be ashamed of yourself, good sir.
I wanted him to ban porn, so I felt more naughty when I watched it.
It would. I think if porn was banned, more people would watch it.
It's a legislative equivalent of choking yourself when you get off.
Oh God.
It's like it's the same. There was this one comedian who is like pretending to be a member of the House of Lords. It's like, I want to ban gay marriage and I want to ban homosexuality so I can feel naughty when I do it. No, but I supported Rick Santorum because I was a Christian, and I realized that Ron Paul was the right answer as far as liberty went. And I don't know. The person in my church who introduced me to Ron Paul, Dan, he was an elder there, or not an elder, but he was like the leader of the church band, the youth group band.
Okay.
Like, coolest fucking guy. I hope he's listening or ends up listening eventually. But he's a leftist ass. I'm not an ass, but he's a leftist now. Unfortunately, I think he was looking for a revolution and saw Bernie Sanders like, well, he's old and white and says crazy things. I guess he can be Ron Paul.
Right. It's surprising to me the people who supported Bernie Sanders that were Ron Paul supporters in 2012. It's ridiculous.
But as far as I went, Ron Paul is just the answer, and he's always been the answer. I have a picture of him hanging in my room.
He is the myth and the legend.
Yeah, he
brought more people into the liberty movement than anyone.
He watches me while I sleep.
Nice.
Yep. But yeah, happy birthday to Ron Paul. Many more to come, hopefully.
Yeah.
I
will cry the day that man passes.
Well, he's not going to pass. He's too immortal.
Yeah, we'll always have that moment. And I always say this, we can always go back to that moment in 2012 where it looked like he was going to win. And I can always cherish that moment where I legitimately thought that Ron Paul was going to win the nomination. My instinct said otherwise. It said there's no fucking way the Republican Party is going to let this guy win the primary and be the nominee. But it turned out right. My instincts are right. But, well, I think we're going to wrap it. Happy birthday to Ron Paul. And there's be many more to come.
And happy birthday. If any of you played backyard baseball, you would get the idea. Happy birthday to Pablo Sanchez, a backyard baseball, the most overpowered motherfucker in the history of sports games. Guys like Bo Jackson in every sport. It's crazy.
Good God.
But a little inside joke. August 19th is a weird day. I was looking back on my Facebook memories. Really weird day.
Weird day, huh?
Weird day. But yeah. I don't know how to end it.
All right. I like to end on a kind of like that's the end. Very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
I like that kind of.
It's like my sex life.
Yeah. That's the end, I guess. All right, fuckers.
And my dear old friend,
Ron Paul. All right. This has been Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Podcasting.
Have a nice one.
Have a good one, everyone.